What's up, YouTube? I'm your host, Deeper Depths with the Deeper Level Podcast. Do me a favor and smash that like button. Also hit that subscribe button so that you're notified every time that I upload a new video and more content becomes available on this channel. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Let's go. All right, so this deck that I'm about to talk about today, this deck delivers. This deck deletes. This deck destroys. This deck demolishes. This deck is dangerous. This deck disturbs. This deck is disruptive. This is the only deck you will ever need. You get that play on words with all the D's? The only deck you'll ever need. Well, anyway, this, my friends, is a discard deck. Yes, indeed, this is a discard deck. I've been playing this deck for the last week, and I have rose 15 ranks while playing Marvel Snap, from 30 to 45 in 2 days, my friends. And that's probably playing an hour a day, because most matches are anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. So let's get ready to cover what I've got inside of this deck, what it contains, and how it is played. Here it is. Okay, so the cards that I'm running in this particular deck is Okoye, Blade, Morbius, the Collector, Strong Guy, Swarm, Lady Sif, Hell Cow, Nakia, Black Cat, Swordmaster, and Apocalypse. The overall theme of this deck is a discard deck, so you want to discard cards. Listen, it's a trade-off whenever you're playing a discard deck. Every hand may not line up exactly like you want it, and sometimes you may have to sacrifice discarding certain cards that you wanted to play because that's the trade-off. However, once you get your main cards to the board, you're going to be activating their abilities quite frequently. So with Okoye, she is a 1 cost, 1 power card. Real cheap, inexpensive. If you can get her to the board on turn 1 or turn 2, she's going to give you the ability to hype up your deck, because her ability is she gives +1 to the ongoing cards in your deck. So she's really efficient. Then Blade, easy to get to the board, 1 cost. You can also get him out on turn 1, turn 2. And what he does is you discard a card from your hand whenever he is played. But again, the whole idea is to discard cards. So that's actually a good thing. And then you've got Morbius, which is a 2 cost, 0 power card. However, you'll notice the ability of Morbius is he gets +2 for every card that's been discarded. Here is the secret about Morbius. His card is buffing whether he is on the board or not. So he's buffing at all times, even if he's not played yet. If you're discarding cards, he's getting that +2. Now, of course, it doesn't process or activate until he comes to the board, but nevertheless, Morbius is always buffing. That's just free knowledge and free game that I thought I would give you, simply because I love people here on the Deeper Level. And then you've got the Collector. Now, most of the time when people run the Collector, they don't run him with this particular set of cards that I've just listed. But that's the whole reason why you want the Collector in your deck. And I'm going to get to why you want him in a minute. All right, so what the Collector does is he gets +2 for every card that enters your hand from anywhere except for your deck. In other words, when you draw cards, you don't process or activate that ability. But whenever cards are given to you, whenever cards are returned to you, you're getting +2 for all of those cards. Now, I'm running Strong Guy as well. 2 cost, 3 power. And what he does is if there is no cards in your hand, he gets +6 on his power. So he is easily amped up if you are left with no cards. Again, this is a discard deck. So the whole ideal is you're going to be discarding and getting rid of cards. So therefore, that's an automatic go for Strong Guy. Now I'm running Swarm. Whenever Swarm is discarded, Okay. What he does is he creates 2 zero-cost copies of himself. So if Swarm is discarded, right now he's a 2/3, but then he becomes 2 zero-cost 3 cards. Now, remember I told you the collector is in your deck. So every time a card enters your hand from anywhere, the collector is getting +2. So if you get a Swarm and collector combo coming, and then keep in mind when it's discarded, Morbius is also being hyped up with +2 for every card discarded. So you see where I'm going with this? Powerful combo. Lady Sif, a 2/4 cost card. What Lady Sif does is she discards the highest cost card in your hand. So the combo here is Lady Sif and Apocalypse, because generally he's going to be the highest cost card that you're going to have. And every time he is discarded, he gets +4 and he comes back to your hand, which that's going to catch the Morbius combo for the discard, and that's going to catch the collector combo for another card coming back to your hand. And then you got Hell Cow. Hell Cow is a 2-cost 6 power card. That is incredible. But what he does is whenever he is played, he discards 2 cards from your hand. So just imagine, what if you had Swarm in your hand, 2 copies of that? You throw Hell Cow to the board, both of those are discarded. They both split apart. Now you have 4 cards that has come back to your hand that are 0 cost, 3 power, and then the collector and Morbius is buffed another 4 times. It's sick, y'all, I'm telling you. And then you've got Nakia, which she gives +2 to all of the cards in your hand. You've got Black Cat, which is a 3-cost, 6-cost card, 6-power card, excuse me. And what Black Cat does is if she's not played on that turn, she's automatically discarded from your hand. Now, that's not a bad thing. I know some of you would say, well, hey, she's 3-cost, 6-power. I want to get her to the board. Even if you don't get her to the board, she is automatically discarded from your hand for free. You don't have to do anything, you don't have to pay anything, and that's going to count towards the Morbius buff. All right, and then you've got Swordmaster, which is a 4-cost 7-power card. When he comes into play, you discard a card from your hand. Again, the overall theme of this deck is discarding, so you want to be discarding from your hand. And then lastly, you've got Apocalypse. Apocalypse is a 6-cost 8-power card that gets +4 every time he is discarded from your hand. You're going to be discarding this card like crazy. So a lot of times I'm able to get Apocalypse up to power 20, power 24, and I've even had him as high as power 28 by the time that he comes to the board. Listen, this is the only deck you need. It is the ultimate discard deck. Give or take, there may be a few tweaks, cards that I might add once I get a little higher up in the collection pool, but for right now, this deck is phenomenal. Well, my brothers and sisters, thank you for tuning in to The Deeper Level. I will catch you on the next go round and video that I release. See you soon. Peace.